Jnanakosha, Puranas.
सर्गच्च प्रतिसर्गच्च वंशो मन्वन्तराणि च वंशानुचरितं चैव पुराणं पञ्चलक्षणम्.
Shiva Purana, Shat, Rudra Samhita. 10 incarnations of Shiva and Shakti. Describing about the 10 incarnations and their corresponding power, Sutta said, the first incarnation of Lord Shiva was a Mahakal and his Shakti was called Mahakali. Lord Shiva took his second incarnation as Tar and his Shakti was called Tara. The third incarnation of Lord Shiva was Bhuvaneshwar and his Shakti was called Bhuvaneshwari. Lord Shiva took his fourth incarnation as Shodasha and who was also known as Sri Vidyesha and his Shakti was called Shodashi and Sri. Lord Shiva took his fifth incarnation as Bhairav and his Shakti was called Bhairavi. The sixth incarnation of Lord Shiva is famous as Chinnamastak and his Shakti by the name of Chinnamasta. Lord Shiva took his seventh incarnation as Dhumavan and his Shakti was known as Dhumavati. The eighth incarnation was as Bhagalamukh and his Shakti as Bhagalamukhi. The ninth incarnation of Lord Shiva became famous as Matanga and his Shakti as Matangi. Lord Shiva took his 10th incarnation as Kamal and his Shakti as Kamala. If these 10 incarnations of Shiva was worshipped along with his 10 Mahavidyas, then a man attains salvation. The origin of 11 Rudras. Once the deities went to sage Kashyapa after being tormented by the demons. They complained to him about the misdeeds of the demons, who also happened to be their step-brothers. Sage Kashyapa became extremely furious when he heard about the misdeeds of his sons, the demons. To protect the deities from his sons, he commenced a penance to please Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva became very pleased by his penance and appeared before him. He asked Kashyapa to demand anything he wished. Kashyapa then requested Lord Shiva to take birth as his son and destroy the demons. Lord Shiva blessed him and said, "So be it." Lord Shiva later on took birth as 11 Rudras from the womb of his wife Surabhi. The names of these 11 Rudras were as follows: Kapali, Pingal, Bhim, Virupaksha, Vilohit, Shastra, Ajapad, Abhirud, Dhanya, Shambhu, Chanda and Bhav. These 11 Rudras fought battles with the demons and killed them. The deities were relieved after the death of the demons. They worshipped these 11 Rudras to express their gratitude and indebtedness. Shiva's incarnation as Durvasa. Describing about the Lord Shiva's incarnation as Durvasa, Sutta told the deities, once Atri, the Manasaputra of Lord Brahma, went to do penance at the bank of the river Vindhya, which flew by the foothills of Trayakashul mountain as per the instructions of Lord Brahma himself. He commenced doing a tremendous penance. The effects of his penance were such that devastating flames of fire manifested from his head. The fire spread in all the three worlds in no time. The deities were terrified by the death and destruction caused by the fire in all the three worlds. They went to Lord Brahma to seek his help. Lord Brahma took them to Lord Vishnu and revealed to him about the destruction caused by the fire. All of them went to Lord Shiva and told him everything. Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva went to Atri and blessed him. Atri recognized them. He eulogized them. Later on, Atri's wife Anusuya gave birth to 3 sons, who in fact were the incarnation of Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma incarnation as the moon, Lord Vishnu as Datta, and Shiva took incarnation as Durvasa. Durvasa had tested the religiousness and virtuosity of numerous people. He had also tested the religiousness of King Ambarish, who ruled over Saptadvipa. Once King Ambarish had observed a fast on Ekadasi. Next day, when he was about to break his fast, sage Durvasa arrived accompanied by his large number of disciples. Durvasa was very furious with King Ambarish. He said, "You had invited me for this particular, but you have also insulted me by breaking the fast by drinking water in my absence." Sage Durvasa would have burnt King Ambarisha to ashes by his curse had not Sudarshana, the weapon of Vishnu, came to his rescue. Sudarshan then tried to burn sage Durvasa when suddenly a heavenly voice was heard from the sky which said, "Durvasa is no one but the incarnation of Lord Shiva himself." Hearing this, Sudarshan's anger was pacified. King Ambarish then begged his forgiveness from the sage Durvasa. Incarnation of Hanuman. Lord Shiva was so infatuated by the appearance of Lord Vishnu in his form of Mohini Rupa, and his semen was released on the ground. This semen was established by the Saptarishis in the womb of Anjani with the permission of Lord Shiva himself. In this way was born the mighty Hanuman. Once during his childhood, Hanuman had swallowed the sun, which he released only after the deities prayed to him. The sun accepted him as his disciple and made him proficient in all the learnings. He started living with Sugriva as per the instructions of his teacher, the sun. During the time of Sri Rama's exile, Sugriva developed friendship with him with the help of Hanuman. Hanuman helped Sri Rama in finding the whereabouts of Sita, who had been abducted by the demon king Ravana. He took a giant leap and jumped across the ocean. He went to Ashoka Vatika, where Ravana had kept Sita. He gave Sri Rama's ring to her and consoled her by saying that very soon Sri Rama was going to arrive and release her from Ravana's captivity. He also burnt the whole Lanka by his burning tail and returned to Sri Rama to give him Sita's news while the battle was fought between Sri Rama and Ravana. Lakshmana got seriously injured and became unconscious. Hanuman saves his life by bringing the whole of mountain upon which the herb Sanjeevani grew. Being present at the service of Sri Rama, Hanuman performed his duties marvelously. Worship of Hanuman helps a man to become free from all kinds of problems, diseases, and hurdles. Shiva's incarnation as Mahesh. Once Bhairava, who was entrusted with the job of a doorkeeper, became so infatuated with Parvati's beauty that he tried to prevent her from going outside. Parvati became furious and cursed him to be born as a mortal man on the earth. Bhairava became very sad, but now the damage had been already done. Bhairava later on appeared in the form of a man named Vetal. Vetal prayed to Lord Shiva, who took his incarnation as Mahesh, and goddess Parvati as Girija. Lord Vishnu creates turbulences. After the churning of the ocean had been accomplished, numerous things had emerged out from the ocean. Jewels, moon, Lakshmi, poison, Ucheshwara horse, Airavat elephant, vessel containing nectar were some of the things which emerged out from the ocean after the churning. A tremendous battle was fought between the deities and the demons to have control over the vessel containing nectar. The demons had snatched that vessel from the deities. By the divine inspiration of Lord Shiva, Vishnu appeared in the form of Mohini, the enchanting beauty. He successfully recovered that vessel from the control of the demons. To distract the attention of the demons from the nectar, Lord Vishnu created numerous enchanting beauties. When the demons saw them, they forcefully carried these enchanting beauties to their abode, the nether world. After that, they again returned to take control of the nectar. By that time, Vishnu had made the deities drink all the nectar. When the demons came to know about this, they became very furious and attacked the deities. A tremendous battle ensued between both the sides. Ultimately, the demons got defeated. To save their lives, the demons ran towards their abode. Lord Vishnu chased the demons and entered the netherland. He killed all the demons. Lord Vishnu then saw these enchanting beauties who had been abducted by the demons. Ironically, Lord Vishnu got infatuated by their beauty, who were his own creation. Lord Vishnu remained there for a long time. Shiva's incarnation as Rishabh. During his stay in the Netherlands, many sons were born to Lord Vishnu, who were very wicked and cruel. These sons of Lord Vishnu started tormenting the inhabitants of all the three worlds. All the deities and the sages went to Lord Shiva to take his help. They requested him to kill the cruel sons of Vishnu and re-established him, Lord Vishnu, in his own abode, which he had abandoned for the netherworld. Lord Shiva went to the netherworld in the form of an ox. He killed all the sons of Lord Vishnu with his sharp horns. Seeing the death of his sons, Lord Vishnu came forward to fight him. He attacked Lord Shiva with his various weapons, but Lord Shiva remained harmless. Ultimately, Lord Vishnu was able to recognize him. He realized Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva then requested him to return back to Vishnu Loka. He accepted. Lord Vishnu felt his Sudarshan Chakra in the nether world and went to his own abode, where Lord Shiva presented him a new Sudarshan Chakra. Killing of Vritrashur. Once when the deities were defeated by Vritrashur, they went to Lord Brahma after hiding their weapons in the hermitage of sage Dadichi. They requested Lord Brahma to reveal about the means how Vritrashur could be killed. Lord Brahma advised the deities to make a weapon named Vajra from the bones of sage Dadichi, as Dadichi's bones were even harder than the Vajra of Indra by the blessings of Lord Shiva. All the deities then went to the hermitage of Dadichi in the leadership of Brihaspati. On being inquired about the purpose of their visit, Indra said he wanted his bones so that a weapon could be made out of it. The deity gave up his life by his yogic power. Indra then instructed Kamadhenu to extract the bones from the dead body of the deity. The bones were given to Twashta to construct the weapon Vajra. Twashta took the weapons to Vishwakarma, who at last constructed the Vajra. Indra killed Vritrashur with this weapon. When Suvarcha, the wife of the deity, came to know about the cunning deeds of the deities, she cursed them to become animals. Shiva's incarnation as Yatinath. There used to live a bheel named Ahuk of the Arbudachal mountain. His wife was Ahuka. Both of them were supreme devotees of Lord Shiva. Once Lord Shiva, wanting to test their devotion, appeared before them disguised a hermit. Ahuk honored his guest and treated him very well. Lord Shiva then requested him to give shelter for the whole night. Ahuk expressed his inability, as he had a very small hut in which only 2 people could be accommodated at a time. But his wife intervened and requested Ahuk to sleep outside the hut with his arm, as it would be inappropriate on their part to miss this chance of proving their hospitality. The hermit, who in reality was Lord Shiva, slept with Ahuk's wife inside the hut, while Ahuk himself slept outside the hut. Unfortunately, Ahuk was killed by a wild animal while he was asleep. In the morning, when Lord Shiva found that Ahuk had died, his heart was filled with grief. But Ahuk consoled him by saying that she was proud of her husband as he had given up his life for a noble cause. Naturally, she was very much saddened by her husband's death, so she decided to give up her life by jumping into the burning fire. Right then, Lord Shiva appeared in his real form and blessed her by saying, "In his next birth, your husband would take birth as a royal family. He would become famous as Nala, and you would be born as Damayanti to King Bhima of Vidarbha. I would myself appear in the form of a swan and help both of you to unite. After enjoying all the pleasures of this world, both of you would attain to my abode." After saying this, Lord Shiva established himself as immovable Shivalinga, which later on became famous as Achaleshwara Linga. Shiva's incarnation as Krishna Darshan. King Nabhag was born in the ninth genealogy of Shraddhadeva, who himself was a descendant of Ishwaku. Nabhag was the grandfather of Ambarish. During his childhood, Nabhag left his home for Gurukula to get education. In his absence, his brothers got the wealth of the kingdom distributed among themselves. Nabhag returned home. After the completion of his education, he demanded his share of wealth from his brothers. His brothers told him that they had forgotten to fix his share as he was absent at the time when wealth was being distributed. They advised him to go and meet their father. Nabhag went to his father and made the same request. His father advised him to go to sage Angiras, who was trying to accomplish a yajna, but was not being able to accomplish it because of his attachment. Go and try to eliminate his attachment by your discourse. This way, sage Angiras, on being pleased with you, would give all the wealth which remains after the completion of the yajna, said his father. Nabhag did the same. He went to the place where sage Angiras was performing his yajna. He preached sage Angiras on the virtues of religiousness. As a result, he became free from all sorts of attachment, and the yajna was successfully accomplished. Sage Angiras was very pleased by Nabhag's knowledge of religion. He gave all the remaining wealth of the yajna to Nabhag. Just then Lord Shiva arrived there in his incarnation of Krishna Darshan and tried to prevent sage Angiras from donating the wealth to Nabhag. Instead, he staked his own claim. Nabhag told Lord Shiva that since the wealth was given to him by sage Angiras himself, it naturally belonged to him. Lord Shiva then sent Nabhag to his father Shraddhadev to know about his opinion. Nabhag went to Shraddhadeva, who revealed to him that the person who was taking his claims on the wealth was none other than Lord Shiva. He also told him that whatever remained after the accomplishment of the yajna belongs to Lord Shiva only. Nabhag was now satisfied. He went back to Lord Shiva and narrated everything what his father had said. He then realized and worshipped Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva blessed him with help, which helped Nabhag to attain salvation. Lord Shiva appears as a beggar. There was a king named Satyaratha who ruled over Vidarbha. Once he was attacked by a neighboring king. Satyavrat was killed in that battle. His wife somehow managed to save her life by hiding in a forest. The queen was pregnant at that time. At the shore of a pond, he gave birth to a child. She was feeling thirsty, so she went into the pond to quench her thirst. Unfortunately, she was killed by a crocodile who used to live in that pond. The hungry child started crying. A beggar woman arrived there with her 1-year-old child. Though her heart was filled with compassion, being the hungry child cry, but still she was hesitating to take him in her lap. Right then Lord Shiva appeared as a beggar and advised her to bring up the orphan child. The beggar woman asked about the origin of the child. Lord Shiva told her that the father of this child, Satyavrat, in his previous life had left the Pradosha Vrata incomplete. He had also ordered his men to sever the head of his enemy. After this, he had broken his fast in his impure state without taking a bath. As a result, Satyavrat met a premature death in his next life. The mother of this orphan child too committed a sin by deceitfully getting the co-wife of her husband killed. As a result, she was devoured by a crocodile in her next life. Describing about the child, Lord Shiva said, this child was Brahmin by birth in his previous life, but still he never engaged himself in any religious or virtuous deeds. So in his next life, though he was born in a royal family, still he remained poor. You must take this child under your control, and after his sacred thread ceremony gets accomplished, you must engage him in my Shiva's devotion. If you don't obey my command, then it would not be good for the welfare of your own child. After saying like this, Lord Shiva disappeared. The beggar woman took the child to her house and brought him up with great love and care. When he grew up, his sacred thread ceremony was performed, and then he was initiated into the worship of Lord Shiva. By the blessings of Lord Shiva, Satyavrata's son formed a pot full of gold while he was taking bath in a pond. Now the beggar family became very rich. Once again, when he had gone to a forest, he met a Gandharva princess to whom he ultimately got married. This way he became a king. He lived happily with his mother and his brother. Lord Shiva appears in the guise of Indra. Upamanyu, the son of sage Vyagapradha, was brought up in his maternal uncle's home since his childhood. One day Upamanyu was very hungry. His mother gave him milk to drink, which was not enough to satisfy his hunger. He demanded more and started crying. His mother mined some wheat flour in the water and gave him to drink, as there was no milk left in the house. Upamanyu, finding the taste different, told his mother that it was not milk but something else. He again started crying. His mother told him that if he wanted milk, then he should worship Lord Shiva, as he only was capable of making the milk available. Upamanyu proceeded towards the Himalaya and started doing penance to please Lord Shiva, continuously chanting the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. His penance generated so much of heat that all the three worlds started burning. To test his devotion, Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati appeared before him disguised as Indra and Indrani respectively. Both of them told Upamanyu to stop doing penance. They said, we, Indra and Indrani, are extremely pleased by your devotion. Stop worshipping Shiva. We will fulfill all your desires. Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati did not stop at this. They even cursed Shiva. Upamanyu became very furious and got up to attack the abuser Indra. Shiva and Parvati were satisfied by his total dedication and devotion. They revealed their real identity and blessed him. Shiva promised Upamanyu that he would be present in the vicinity of his hermitage along with Parvati forever. Upamanyu returned back to his home and narrated the whole story to his mother, who was very pleased. Lord Shiva got the name Sureshwar because he appeared in the guise of Indra. Sage Vyasa advises the Pandavas to worship Shiva. After losing their whole kingdom to Duryodhana in the gamble, Pandavas went to the Dwight forest accompanied by Draupadi. They started living in a place which was donated by Velotra's son. Sage Vyasa advises the Pandavas to worship Shiva. Duryodhana instigated sage Durvasa to torment the Pandavas. Sage Durvasa went to the place where Pandavas were staying, accompanied by thousands of his disciples. He demanded food from the Pandavas. How could have the Pandavas satiated from the hunger of thousands of people? Lord Krishna came to their rescue and saved them from being disgraced. As a result, Durvasa and his disciples went back satisfied. Lord Krishna advised the Pandavas to worship Lord Shiva, but they neglected that advice. As a result, their sufferings increased in magnitude. One day, sage Vyasa arrived there. The Pandavas gave a rousing reception. Considering Arjuna to be the most capable among the Pandavas, Vyasa taught him the method of doing Paritsuva worship. Later on, Arjuna went to the Indrakil mountain to please Indra by his penance. Sage Vyasa preached Yudhishthira to remain firm on his virtuosity and religiousness. Arjuna's penance generated so much of heat that all the living creatures of the three worlds were unable to bear its scorching heat. All the living creatures of the three worlds went to Indra to keep his and seek his help. Indra went to Arjuna in the guise of a celibate and asked about the purpose of which he was doing penance. Arjuna told him that he wanted to defeat the Kauravas. Indra then told Arjuna that it was not in his capacity to help him achieve victory over the Kauravas because of Ashwatthama, who was a portal incarnation of Lord Shiva. He is a partial incarnation of the Lord Shiva. Indra advised Arjuna to please Lord Shiva by his penance so that his wishes could be fulfilled. Indra then entrusted some of his men the job of Arjuna's security and went back to his abode. Arjuna commenced his penance to please Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva appears in guise of Kirat and blesses Arjuna. Arjuna did a tremendous penance by standing only on one leg and concentrating his gaze upon the blazing sun. The deities became very impressed by Arjuna's penance. They went to Lord Shiva and requested him to bless Arjuna. Lord Shiva accepted their request. Duryodhana had sent a demon named Muka to kill Arjuna. Muka had disguised himself as a boar. Arjuna was engrossed in his meditation when suddenly his concentration got disturbed by a loud noise. He opened his eyes and saw Muka being chased by a band of Kirats. In fact, it was none other than Shiva who had appeared in the guise of Kirat. Both Arjuna and Lord Shiva struck the boar with their respective arrows at the same time. As a result, the boar was killed. Lord Shiva sent his Ganas to bring back the arrow. Similarly, Arjuna too went near the dead boar to bring his arrow. Arjuna found his arrow lying on the ground. He picked it up in his hand. Right then the Ganas arrived there and asked Arjuna to return that arrow as it belonged to their master. But Arjuna refused to part with his arrow. Instead, he asked the Ganas to convey his challenge to their master to have a duel with him. The Ganas went back to Lord Shiva and narrated the whole story to him. Lord Shiva accepted Arjuna's challenge and went to fight him. His Ganas accompanied him. Arjuna defeated all the Ganas of Shiva. In the end, Lord Shiva came forward to have a duel fight with him. Shiva was very much impressed by his valor. He revealed his real identity. Arjuna was very ashamed that he fought with Shiva. Lord Shiva consoled him and gave his weapon, Pashupat, to Arjuna. The 12 Jyotirlingas. Describing about the 12 Jyotirlingas, Suta told the sages, there are 12 Jyotirlingas which are Somanath in Saurashtra, Mallikarjun in Srishail, Mahakal in Ujjain, Amreshwar in Omkar, Kedar in the Himalayas, Bhimashankar at the bank of Bhima river, Vishwanath in Varanasi, Triambakeshwar at the bank of Gautami river, Baidyanath at Chintabhumi, Nagesh which is between Dwaraka and Bet Dwaraka, Rameshwar at Setubhanda and Dhumesh in Shivalaya. These are 12 Jyotirlingas are considered to the very sacred. A devotee who pays a visit to any of these places and worship gets all of his wish fulfilled. Out of these 12 Jyotirlingas, Somanatha Jyotirlinga is believed to destroy the sorrows of moon. A devotee who worships this Jyotirlinga gets cured from incurable diseases like leprosy, enjoys all kinds of worldly pleasures, and attains salvation. Similarly, having a darshan of Mallikarjuna helps a devotee to fulfill all his desires. Having a darshan of Mahakal at Ujjain helps a devotee to fulfill all kinds of desire and achieve salvation. Similarly, if a devotee merely touches the idol of Omkarlinga, then he achieves the desired fruit. Kedarlinga is situated in the Himalayas and is considered to be very sacred. Lord Shiva took his sixth incarnation as Bhimashankar to kill the demon Bhima. This incarnation of Shiva took place at a place called Kamarupa in Assam. The seventh incarnation of Lord Shiva was as Vishwanath at Kashi. This Jyotirlinga is considered to be very sacred and fulfiller of all the desires of a man. Lord Shiva took his eighth incarnation at the bank of river Gautami at the request of sage Gautam. This Jyotirlinga too is considered to be very sacred and a fulfiller of all the desires of a man. The ninth incarnation of Shiva was at Baidyanath at the Yoghar in Bihar. This Jyotirlinga was established by the demon king Ravana. A devotee who worships this Jyotirlinga gets all of his wishes fulfilled. Because of this, it is also known as Kamana Linga. Devotees carry the holy water of the Ganges from Sultanganj and both the idols of Baidyanath in the months of Shravana and Bhadrapaksha according to the Hindu calendar. Lord Shiva took his 10th incarnation to kill the demon Daruk who used to live in Daruk forest. A devotee who worships Nagesh never faces any calamity. The 11th incarnation of Lord Shiva was a Rameshwar Linga. This Linga was established by Sri Rama while the construction of a bridge over the sea was going on. Having a darshan of this Jyotirlinga bestows both worldly pleasures and salvation. Lord Shiva took his 12th incarnation as Dhumeshwar after being pleased by Dushma, the wife of Samhita. Having a darshan of this Jyotirlinga helps a devotee fulfill all his desires. All the 12 Jyotirlingas are very sacred and give total accomplishment to the devotees.